There it is. Okay. So today I am going to teach you guys how to make Spanish rice. So what you're going to need first is 1 cup of rice. Okay, so I am going to use this cup of this size. I'm kind of running low on my rice. Rice is very popular in my house. Good. So I do have 1 cup of rice. So if you guys can see it here, okay? Then I am going to need half an onion. So I found my onion. I'm gonna need half of it. How about if someone helps me and writes down on the chat the ingredients? Can someone help me with that? So far I have 1 cup of rice. I have half an onion. To be a small onion. If it's too big, then you don't want to do the whole half. You can do 1/3. Depends on the size of the onion, okay? So I'm going to do half of onion. I'm also going to need 1 tomato. I like my rice to be red, so like orange. So I like to have a large tomato, so I have a large tomato. And then you're gonna need a little bit of oil, okay? And I like to use garlic too, just to give it a little bit of flavor. So I'm gonna take 2 cloves of garlic, okay? All right, so I have my, I usually use olive oil, but you can use any type of oil. And so you have oil, you have 2 cloves of garlic, you have your tomato, you have half an onion, and then you have your cup of rice. And then I always have this handy, which is called caldo con sabor de pollo, chicken flavor bouillon. I don't know how to spell it or how to pronounce it in English, but I'm going to put it right there so you guys can see what it is. And this gives it a really nice flavor when you're making your Spanish rice. Okay. Then I'm gonna grab my pan. So your pan, right? You want to find a pan where you're gonna make your Spanish rice, not too big, not too small. So then you grab your pan, whatever pan you have at home, and then I'm going to start by turning on my stove. Okay, so we put my ingredients here. And you are gonna need a blender too. Okay, so I turned it on. My lid, I'm gonna need later. Okay, I had washed my hands before going into Zoom, but I'm gonna wash my hands again because I was touching the computer. It's a good practice to always wash your hands so that no one gets sick. Okay. All right, so now I kind of sense that this is warming up. So I'm gonna add a little bit of oil. Maybe like a spoon or 2 spoons of oil. And then you have your cloves of garlic. So I'm gonna peel them. And I'm gonna add it to the oil and I'm gonna start frying them. I hope I can keep up with the English because all my cooking is done in Spanish. Like my grandma spoke Spanish, my mom spoke Spanish. So I'll try to keep up with the English and hopefully you guys are patient with me, okay? So you have your 2 cloves of garlic. Then I have my spoon, which I'm going to start with frying the garlic a little bit before I add the rice. I notice I need a little bit more oil. So add a little bit more oil. Again, like 2 spoons of oil, more or less. I fry the garlic for a little bit. So it kind of like, you know, when it starts turning a little bit brown, then I add the rice. And this is mainly so that you give that flavor, that specific flavor. Now you have to understand that not everybody that makes Spanish rice does this. These are my little tricks that I've learned from my grandmas. Specifically, I remember very clearly that my grandma from my dad's side, she was the one that taught me how to make the Spanish rice. Okay. So if you see right here, right, you can see the garlic frying in the oil. Okay, so it's turning a little brown. So I'm going to add now my rice. Okay. And then I'm going to stir it. And I'm going to keep stirring it and just kind of watching it so it turns brown. So because you're basically frying the rice. And the more careful you fry it, the better the fluffier it's going to be. So you want to make sure that you fry your rice and that you're patient. It's medium heat, okay? So medium heat in your stove. You don't want to do it too fast and burn your rice. So medium heat. You guys are asking me if you should be writing the steps. I would, right? Because I know that I will forget. So if I was you, I should be writing the steps. You guys want to write it on your phone? Do you guys want to write on a piece of paper? I will write them just so that I remember. And if you guys really want to try this recipe, I will definitely write it down. I mean, I am recording this Zoom meeting, so I can post it once I start our channel. I do have you guys' names recorded, so then I'll be able to see who is in this call, and then you guys can see the video after. But again, if you want to try this recipe, you might want to be writing down the steps. What are you making? I'm making Spanish rice for my cooking club. My son loves to cook. He definitely loves food, and he's a really good chef. Yes. So he's very independent. He's a junior in high school. So next year he'll be a senior, and then he'll be off to college, and he will not be hungry. That's good. And then he'll be able to make his own food, which he already does. So he's pretty set on that.
How many of them are in your class?
Right now, this is our first meeting, our first Zoom meeting, and there's 11 of us. I'm telling them that I learned all my recipes in Spanish, so hopefully I'm able to keep up with the English.
They all speak Spanish?
No, I have different students. None of them are in my Spanish classes, which is really neat because I get to know you guys, even though you're not in my classes. I know Julio from knowing your brother, so, and also from LSU from last year. So I know I see some familiar faces.
Are they cooking too?
They're learning, so they're watching me. They wanted me to cook for them today. So again, you have to be patient. And again, I'm just frying right now the rice. And you just have to keep stirring it until it turns brown. So I'll be showing you. Usually what I like to do is, as this is frying, I'm going to go on to the next step, which is preparing the broth, the salsa that is going to go into the Spanish rice. So I'm going to grab my blender. So I'll grab my blender. And this is the trick for rice, guys. So if I put 1 cup of rice, I have to double the amount of water. So I put 1 cup of rice. Now I'm going to need 2 cups of water. And I'm going to add the 2 cups of water into my blender. So That's what the first step I'm going to do. So someone can type it on the chat. 2 cups of water, because I had 1 cup of rice, so then it's 2 cups of water. Then in my blender, I have now my 2 cups of water. Turn it over here so you guys can see my blender. And then now I'm gonna wash my tomato. I have to kind of wash it with soap, just because I don't know. I always think like, who touched it in the grocery store? I don't know who touched it. So I like to wash it with soap. That's just me. And I have here, and I'm just gonna cut it in 4 pieces. So I'll cut the tomato in 4 pieces, and then I add it to my blender. Then I have my half of onion, so I'm gonna cut it in half. So I add it over here. Okay, so now what did I put in my blender? I put my 2 cups of water, I put my tomato, and then I put my onion, and then my last ingredient, which is this chicken flavor. And I am going to add, look at 1 spoon, very top, you see it? So there it is. And I usually add a little bit more, and there it is. So like 1 and a half, or 1 1/3 of a spoon of the chicken flavor broth. So it's ready to be blended, but I have to remember about the rice, right? So I'm gonna stir it, because look, it's already turning brown. So I'm like, oh gosh, so I have to be careful not to forget about my rice. So I come and I stir it again before I go and blend those ingredients. And it's almost ready. It's looking really nice. Let me show you. Look how it's turning brown. And then the garlic is also frying in there, which is adding the taste to the rice. So I'm mixing it. It's turning brown. Okay. And if I'm worried that it's going to burn, what I can do is I can lower the temperature. So I put it on medium low now, because I don't want it to get burned. So I grab my blender, and I'm going to go blend this. So there it is. I have the salsa ready. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my rice. I'm going to raise the temperature, or the heat, to medium again. And it's almost ready. And again, remember, right? We want it to be really fluffy. We want it to be really yummy. And so then I keep stirring it until all of it looks even and it looks brown. You don't want it to look black, because then that it's burned. So you want it to look brown. It's almost ready. It's looking really nice. Now, you guys remember how I told you that some families like to add corn? So if I had a can of corn, once I add the salsa, I can add corn too if I want to. Has anybody tried Spanish rice with corn? Can you tell me if you tried it? Spanish rice with corn. Has anybody tried it? Okay, Julio has. All right, Tyler, yeah, okay. All right, so, so if you guys want to add the corn, I know my daughter loves the corn. So she always tells me, Mom, can you make sure you add corn? I'm like, okay. But today, because I'm teaching you the traditional way, I'm not gonna add corn to it, okay? So if you have some carne asada, or if you have some veggies, like if you're vegetarian or you don't want to eat beef or meat, you can have your Spanish rice, and then you can cook some broccoli, steam some broccoli on the side, and that could be a meal for you, okay? Okay, guys, I'm going to show you how it looks now. So look how brown it looks, okay? And so that means it's ready for me to add my salsa, my broth. And so there it is. And I'm gonna add it carefully. And there it is. So I'm gonna wait to see when it's boiling, which is almost there. And once it starts boiling, then I'm gonna put a timer. And this is where it's really important to time your rice. And it depends. You know how stoves have larger burning, ¿cómo se llaman estos? Like the stove, some of the burners are smaller and some are larger. So when I like to cook my rice, it's on my largest burner. And the reason why that is important is because the heat of the burner will help me cook my rice in 30 minutes. So that's how I have my time figured out for my Spanish rice. So again, it's usually 30 minutes. It's almost ready to start boiling. So I'm gonna cover it, okay? And then it's always gonna be like, I'm gonna wait a little bit until it starts boiling before I set my timer. So I wait like a couple minutes before it starts boiling. Okay, and then I can start cleaning up. You guys always wanna be responsible and clean up after yourselves. You don't want your parents to be like, come on, you're not cleaning after yourselves. So while that's happening, while that's starting to boil, I clean up a little bit. So I'm gonna save my onion because I only use half of it. Today I'm gonna make aguachiles for dinner, which is like shrimp with lemon, cilantro, cucumber. So that's a recipe I can share with you guys another day. But my kids also love aguachiles, and we just eat them with tostadas. But the Spanish rice is one of the basic things that we, want to learn how to make. And so I'm glad I had the opportunity to share this recipe with you guys. So I'm gonna open it up, right? And it's still not boiling. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more, one more minute before I can check again to see if it starts boiling. And also, again, you want to time it, right? Your rice for 30 minutes once it starts boiling. And I guarantee you, you guys will love this recipe. And the credit goes to my grandma, okay? Simona, which was my dad's mom. She's the one that taught me like the importance of it being fried evenly to make sure it was all brown, because then if it's fried evenly, then it will be really fluffy. Yay! So Elizabeth is making the rice right now. Awesome. So I love it. If you guys can make it today and then share how it went, that'll be wonderful. Tell me, can you guys please tell me if you guys are finding this exciting? Is this what you guys expected? Okay. All right, so I'm checking, and if I can see right now, I'll show you guys. You can see how the rice, the water is starting to boil. So that means it's ready to simmer. So I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to lower the heat. And this is the trick too, right? I'm going to lower the heat to low now that it's boiling. And then I'm going to set my timer to 30 minutes. And again, if your stove doesn't have a timer, we'll set it in your phone or whatever. You can set 30 minutes. That way you can turn it off once it's 30 minutes, and then your rice will be ready, or it should be ready. It depends again in the heat of your burner and your stove. But again, the way I have it measured in my stove, in my largest burner, is 30 minutes on the low heat. Okay. All right, guys. So basically, this is pretty much the recipe of Spanish rice. All right. And again, the corn is a treat. If you guys want to add it, when I added the sauce, then I can also add the corn at the same time and just mix it. And then once it starts boiling, then I lower it to low heat and then 30 minutes. Okay. Okay, so you guys' next steps then is to try the recipe and let me know how it went. So next week when we meet, you guys can let me know how it went. And then you guys can also bring other recipes of rice if you guys get to find out other recipes from your family members or anybody that that you know you have contact that can teach you other recipes. White rice is very simple, guys. Very, very simple. White rice, you don't have to fry it. Basically, white rice, you grab your cup of rice and you put it in your pot, and then you basically add your 2 cups of water. You wait until it's boiling, and then you cover it for 30 minutes. No, so fire is really important that once it starts boiling, you lower it to low heat and you cook it for 30 minutes. So it's 30 minutes in low heat. Good question. Thank you for clarifying. So same thing with white rice, right? You add your cup of rice, you add your 2 cups of water, and then you raise it so that it boils in medium heat. Once it starts boiling, you lower it to low heat, and then you let it cook for 30 minutes. Okay. Any other clarification? Any other questions? I wish I could invite you over so you could try the Spanish rice, but no, you're gonna have to make your own Spanish rice and then tell me how it went. Is there anything you guys want me to cook for you next week? What would you guys want me to cook for you next week? So today I taught you Spanish rice. What would you want me to cook for you next week? That is easy, simple. I can teach you how to make a ceviche. I can teach you how to make, I don't know. What would you want me to teach you how to make? I can teach you how to make a salsa. Okay. So one of my favorite foods right now, because it's hot, like I feel hot right now. You can make aguachil, which is chile, and it's very, very simple. So you can make it with shrimp. And then you just basically eat them with tostadas. Yeah, so Jada wants to try it. What would you guys want to make? Ceviche will be nice. Okay. Yeah. You guys want me to teach you how to make shrimp ceviche, or you guys want me to teach you how to make fish ceviche? Because there's fish ceviche or there's shrimp ceviche. Is there a preference? Shrimp ceviche. Okay. Very well. Okay. So I'm going to teach you next week. This is going to be my plan. Okay. So I'll have all the ingredients for me to make the recipe next week in front of you guys. I'm going to teach you how to make aguachil, which is a type of ceviche. And it's very easy, very accessible. And then I can teach you how to make it. Do you guys want me to tell you what ingredients you guys will need? So if you guys want to make the recipe with me next week, would you guys want me to type it on the chat? Yeah? Okay. So I'll put it in the chat right now. Okay. So what ingredients do you need? Okay. So you need 2 pounds of shrimp. And you have to clean them. The shrimp usually come, they have a shell. So you have to clean the shell. And then they have a little vein that is black, and you have to clean that up. Sometimes I like to buy them from Costco, because when you get them from Costco, they already have that vein cleaned out, which is like the poop. And then they just come with the shell, and it's really easy to clean it. So it depends if you guys have access to Costco, and if you don't, you can get it at any store. You can get it at Safeway, Lucky's, or Chavez or Santa Fe. Just get 2 pounds of shrimp. Then you also need purple onion, 1 purple onion, or half purple onion. You also need 2 cucumbers. You need lemons, and we need a lot of lemons. So we're gonna have say 12 to 15 green lemons. Is it lemons or limes? I don't know, guys. Okay. And Spanish is like limones verdes. Then you also need chiles serranos. I'll say 4 to 5, depends on how spicy do you want it. Cauliflower, nope, not for aguachil. Okay, oh, and then I also need cilantro. So you need your shrimp, you need your onions, you need your cucumbers, you need your lemons, you need your chiles serranos, and your cilantro. That's all your ingredients, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Any other ideas? Anything you guys want to ask me before we end our call today? So next week, right, if you want to do the recipe with me, get your ingredients. I also, next week, I want you to share with me how did your Spanish rice recipe went? How did you do with your Spanish recipe? So those are our 2 things for next week. Okay. No, you don't need tortillas. Actually, you do need tostadas. So thank you for clarifying, tostadas. Yeah. So when you go and get your shrimp, you can get tostadas. And that's how you're gonna eat the aguachil, which is a type of ceviche, and you're gonna put it on your tostada. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Oh, I do add a little bit of pepper. I don't know if you guys have pepper at home, but I do add pepper and salt. Those are your spices that we're gonna do also. Pepper and salt. Okay. Can you share something positive, something exciting about today, something that you liked? Can you turn on your microphone or type on the chat? Something exciting, something positive, something that you like from today's Zoom meeting for our first cooking club meeting.
I like how we already started going into making Spanish rice on the first day.
All right, Jada, thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I also see Tyler wrote on the chat, I like to learn how to cook Spanish rice. Okay. I'm excited to make it myself. Good. Yes. I like how we started learning the first day of the club. Yes. Thank you. I'm glad. Elizabeth said, I like how I tried to follow along at your pace. I hope I did a good job. I tried. Yay. Devante is like, I'm now in the mood to cook something. I'm glad. Good. You know, some people that make Spanish rice, they buy the canned tomato. So it's not going to be the same. I promise that you guys will love the recipe. It's homemade. It's very traditional. Again, it came from my grandma. You didn't rush, which was nice, and the recipe seems easy. Yes, thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, and today is September 15th, so it's tonight at midnight. We celebrate our Mexico's independence from Spain. So I'm glad that I got to teach you something traditional from Mexico. Yes, thank you, Julio, for bringing up the history of our country of Mexico. So I don't know if you guys have seen in the window outside, if you guys have gone outside for anything, but there's some cars that have Mexican flags today, and it's in honor of our independence. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, I'm glad. I hope you guys go and make some Spanish rice. Elizabeth, I hope your Spanish rice will be yummy, yummy, yummy. And you take some great pictures and share with us next week. I know that Devante is going to go and cook something good, something yummy. So hopefully it's good and you're able to enjoy your whatever food you're gonna make. And I'm glad that the recipe I share seemed easy and accessible. Awesome. So Ashley's saying, I'm making some as well. Awesome. I'm really happy. And again, it's a life skill, guys. That's why I'm so excited for this cooking club. Yes, okay. Esmeralda is saying that she's going to try it tomorrow. She's going to make it. Esmeralda, make sure you share some recipes. I mean, you share some pictures, and then we are able to hear from you next week. Wonderful, guys. Well, thank you. I am so happy that we officially have started our club. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining me. This will be the same link every week, so I will not change it. It will be the same passcode because we're trying to avoid any Zoom bombers. So that's why I have a code. You are welcome to invite that middle schooler. You are welcome to invite that student from another school. Everybody's welcome. As long as they're respectful, as long as they have a positive attitude like you guys do have, and are excited to share and learn from each other. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it's 4:50 or 4:49, and I was expecting this to not go any longer than 45 minutes. That's what I thought, and it was pretty good. My Spanish rice. Let me check how much time I still have before I can enjoy it. I still have 17 minutes. So when you guys plan to make Spanish rice, just kind of plan it out. By the time you fry it, by the time you make it boil and all that stuff, like 45 minutes before you can actually enjoy your Spanish rice. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here. It was a pleasure meeting all of you guys, or having you guys, if you're or one of my students, or if I know you. And if this is my first time interacting with you, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you so much. Adiós. Gracias. Adiós. Bye, Julio. Bye, Devante. Adiós, Liz. Nos vemos.